So in the last class, we had discussed about the switch statements, Java switch statement. So we got to know what is a Java switch statement. If you want to execute a statement out of multiple conditions, I mean, if you want to execute only one statement out of multiple conditions, then you can choose switch statements. It is just similar to if-else if ladder statement. And please remember the data types which will work upon the switch statement, like byte, short, integer, character, and string data types. And the data types which does not work is, no, they are what? Long, float, double, and boolean. So we have seen so many examples in the previous session. So today I will also help you with the concept of nested switch statements. Then we will start discussing about the for loop. Okay, for loop is very important to understand the data structures and algorithm problems. That is going to be very interesting. So first of all, let's begin with the nested switch statement. For now, it will be just 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So what is a nested switch statement? So when I say nested switch statement, it is just like keeping a switch statement inside another switch statement. Okay, when you place a switch statement inside another switch statement, is called as what? The nested switch statements. Okay, nesting a switch statement in another one. Right? So the behavior is going to be like the switch statement only. The only thing is the case value is going to have what? The case value is going to have another switch statement. So that is the only difference. What do you really mean is, you have the expression, you have the switch statement. Now this is going to accept an expression. Okay, and you also have what? You also have the body of the switch statement. Right, and there are some cases inside the switch statement. So case one, okay, case one, the expression will be mapped to the respective cases or the corresponding cases. So that is case one, and you keep some statement, but instead of keeping the statement, if you place another statement under the cases, for example, if I am placing a switch here, again, once again, so there are places where we will be doing this, and again, if you give a block, right, and this particular switch statement is called as what? The nested switch statement. Nested switch statement. Right, and you have case one, and you do what? You keep the break statement, and you can have case two. Right, this case two can have an ordinary statement. Apart from the switch case, you can keep an ordinary statement like system.out.println. If you can print something in the console, an ordinary instruction followed by the break statement, right? And at last you can have the default statement. It depends. Default statement. This default statement can have an instruction inside. Okay? Right? When you look at this, so if I ask you what kind of switch statement is this? You should say nested switch statement, because this is nested inside another switch statement. For example, if you want to, like, for example, if you're defining a variable like integer a equal to something like 1, right? Not here, okay, here, integer a equal to 1. Okay, if you are passing the variable here, this variable a is going to get mapped to the corresponding case. So in this case, this variable a is going to get mapped to the case 1, right? And if you see the body of the case one, so there is another switch statement. Okay, so you are nesting it. Again, you can keep multiple cases here. So there are at times you will be choosing this. The best example is the example that I'm going to show you now. Okay, now look at this example and try to tell me the answer. So I have taken two variables here. One is the branch variable. Name of the variable is branch, and it is of character data type. Another one is what? The college year variable, which is of integer data type. So this is the outer switch statement, and this is the inner switch statement. Okay, now just tell me, this variable will be mapped to the corresponding case. After the mapping, what would be the answer in the console? Can you tell me? Anyone? Can you give a try? These are the things that we have discussed in the last class, guys. Now
The common subjects for the first year are
Correct.
English, Maths, and Science.
Correct. This is going to be displayed on the console, right? Because look at the expression here. You're using the expression as college year, right? College year is what? It has a value 1. Okay, so you are passing 1 in the expression. This 1 will be mapped to the corresponding case. So case 1 will be mapped, right? So all the instructions inside the case 1 will get executed, and after the execution you have placed the break statement. So this break will ensure that it is going to, the control is going to get terminated out of the switch block, right? The moment, okay, let me execute this. Java C space a dot Java, is it unreachable statement? 1 minute. Did you any mistake here? 1 minute, guys. Case 1, outer switch block, inner switch block is correct only. Okay, this one. Okay, I forgot to mention a case here. Okay, this is my mistake. See, programmatic. So I have forgotten to mention the case here. So case C, let me take as case C. Okay, now the output is going to be the same which was defined by Sudhir. Space. Okay, the common subjects for the first year are Maths, English, and English, Maths, and Science. Now, if I try to change the college year to if I try to change the college year to, and if I want to keep the branch like the identity of the branch is the character C. Now, what would be the answer now? Okay. Firstly, just try to focus on the outer switch statement. The outer switch statement has a value to this time. Okay, what is the corresponding case? Okay, this is going to get mapped to the corresponding case. Case 2 will be mapped. This will be mapped. Okay, and again inside this you have another switch statement. This is accepting the branch variable. When you look at the branch, this branch has a value character C. Okay, now what would be the value in the console? Can I say operating system, Java, and data structures?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Java C space a dot Java, Java space A. Okay. So there are at times you will be getting this kind of multiple conditions, and you need to narrow down to a particular case. So in those situations you will be forced to use the nested switch statement, but in the real-time applications you don't find this everywhere. In the real-time application they always prefer to go for the if-else if ladder statement because that is very much flexible. But topic wise, this is one of the topics that you need to understand. This awareness is required, right? And you can do some practice, or you don't keep much concentration on this nested switch statement. Okay, this idea is enough. That's it. Then the next topic is, right, we will go into what, discussing about what, the for loop. So when I say for loop, it's not the for loop. Okay, it is just what, it is a kind of the iterative statements. Java iterative statements. Okay. So when I said Java iterative statement, if you want to execute a part of instruction continuously, or else I can say that when a part of instruction the Java program wants to get executed consequently or repeatedly. Okay, when you want to execute a piece of code, or else I can say when you want to execute set of instructions repeatedly, then you can then you can go for what? You can go for Java iterative statements. Iterative statements. Okay, there are, this is also called as what? We to achieve this we use what? We use Java loops. To achieve this, we use Java loops. Okay, so there are three types of Java loops. Okay, one is you have what? You have the for loop. Second one is while loop. Third one is what? Do while loop. Okay, in the beginning it is going to be a bit confusing, right? Understanding these loop statements are going to be a bit confusing, but you will get much comfortable after 2 classes. Okay, try to pay some attention, especially you should put a lot of focus on this for loop. Okay, so what is the for loop? Okay, let me help you with the syntax. Okay, the syntax is it is going to be very clear, syntax of the for loop. Okay, so you use the for keyword. Okay, this for keyword will accept what? Will accept 3 expressions. So there will be expression 1, okay, followed by there will be expression 2, okay, and there will be expression. I will tell you what is this expression 1, 2 and 3. Okay, inside this is the body of the for loop. Okay, inside this you can have what? You can have the required statements. You can develop the required statements. So this is typical syntax. So like if I ask you a question, for example, so far we have just understood the basics of Java programming language. So we have to discuss a lot of concepts. But if I ever ask you to print the hello world for 5 times, okay, my output, I should see the output, I should see the console, in the console that I want to see the hello world is getting displayed for 5 number of times. Hello world. Okay, you can so far we have just understood the basic. What you can do, you can follow the naive approach. So I am assuming that we don't know the we don't know the for loop. Okay, we have just started discussing about the for loop, right? So if I am asking you to print the hello world for the 5 times, what you would do typically? You would do like system dot out dot println. Okay, this is how your approach is going to be, because this is the knowledge that we have developed so far. So we haven't got introduced to the for loop yet, but if I ask you to print the hello world for 5 times, I will be using the system.out.println statement for the 5 number of times. And if I execute this code, okay, the actual whatever the requirement is, that requirement is getting fulfilled. If my requirement is hello world has to get printed in the console for 5 times, so this is also going to achieve this, right? I can achieve this by using the system.out.println statements for 5 number of times. Right, so if I run this piece of, if I compile and execute this, in the output you will be seeing hello world for 5 times. If I ask you to print numbers, if I ask you to print number from 1 to 5, okay, but the problem is you don't know what is a for loop, right? So what you will do, you have some knowledge on Java, you have got some understanding on Java. What you would do, instead of hello world, you would say 1, okay, you would say 2, you would say something like you would say 3, and you would say 4, right, and you would say 5. Right, this is the complete naive approach, right? So if I execute this, definitely the requirement is fulfilled. So what you want to print numbers from 1 to 5, that has been achieved, right? But this is not the what we call it as the good solution, or this is not highly recommended, right? It is going to increase the code base. If I ever ask you to print numbers from 1 to 100, okay, 1 to 5 is fine. If I ask you to print numbers from 1 to 100, do you do the same thing for 100 times? You have to do this for 100 number of times. Time consuming, code base is going to get increased, right? It is not readable, first of all, okay, and you see a lot of redundant values, redundant statements, right? And you feel like the code is completely clumsy. Okay, I want to achieve the same thing in another way, in an efficient way. right? What I will be doing, instead of doing all this nonsense, I will be doing what? I will be using the for loop. For loop, if I want to print the first 5 natural numbers starting from 1, okay, I integer I equal to 1, I is lesser than or equal to 5, okay, I plus plus, okay, I will be using what? System dot out dot println. I will be using something like I here. I will explain you this code, okay, just try to understand. I am able to achieve this by using the for loop, and you don't see any redundant statements, you don't see any duplicate statements, and the code is very crystal clear. It's not clumsy. If you execute this code, you will see the exact output which we got, which we have achieved by using the different approach before, right? Java C space A dot Java, Java space A, 1 2 3 4, right? So what is happening behind the scenes? So sir, you have said that you're doing some integer I equal to 1. What is this? What is actually what we are doing? How we are able to achieve this? Okay, we'll understand what is happening behind the scenes with this for loop. Let me take this code. Okay. Now I want to understand this. Okay, let me increase the font size also. Okay, for the better observation, I want I'm just separating this. I'm just giving some spaces so that it would be, the visibility would be high. Okay, let me give separations. Focus here. Whenever you are declaring a for loop, whenever you are defining a for loop, so there is a control, right? There is a main thread. As soon as this main thread encounters the for loop, it starts executing from what? It is going to start executing the statement from the expression 1. Okay, when I say expression 1, okay, so this is the expression 1. It starts executing the for loop from the expression 1. So I can say, let me take it here, expression 1. Okay, expression 1 says it is used for, okay, the place is reserved for this expression place. Okay, this place is reserved for declaration and the initialization. Expression 1 is reserved for declaration, so declaring the variable and initializing the variable. Initialization. Okay, and the one more point that we need to observe is initialization of a variable. Okay, it is the starting point of the for loop. It is the starting point of the for loop. Okay, it will be executed only once. So this point is very important. Okay? It will be executed only once. Only once. Focus here. So the control is starting from here, right? So the moment it identifies the instruction or the expression 1 which says the value the value 1 is assigned to the variable I. So behind the scenes, there the memory will be created. Okay, inside this memory, okay, the value 1 will be stored, okay, which is going to get identified by the variable I. So I'm sorry, did I use I here? Okay, value 1 will be assigned to the variable I. Okay, so because of this declaration illustration, this happened. After this, okay, the control will be transferred to the expression 2, right? So expression 2, what it usually does is it will always ensure that the conditional checks are happening. It will do the conditional checking. You can place any statement here in the expression 2, but it has to get evaluated to be what? Either true or false. You should always place the conditional check here. Apart from the conditional check, you are not supposed to place any other statements, right? So I can say that expression 2, focus here, expression 2 is reserved for the instructions which are going to do the conditional checks. Conditional checks, right? And it could return either true or false. Now focus. Now expression 2 is getting verified, right? So what you are doing here, you are saying you have placed the conditional check something like I is lesser than or equal to 5, right? So when I say I is lesser than or equal to 5, what is the value of I here? Value of I is what? 1, right? 1 is lesser than or equal to 5, right? So it is supposed to return a conditional value. Conditional, I mean, it is supposed to return a Boolean value. So there is a conditional check here. Obviously, it is going to return what? It is going to return true. True will be returned, isn't it? True will be returned. The moment this conditional check is returning true, the control will go inside the body of the for loop. Okay, so from it is starting from the expression 1, guys. From the expression 1, it is jumping to expression 2. The conditional check is happening. Okay, this expression 2 will act like a gateway for this control, so that if it is returning true, it will enter into the for loop. This control will enter inside the body of the for loop. It is going to act as a gateway. So since it is true, it will enter inside. Okay, inside what is the instruction that you have? You have instruction like system.out.println statement. You want to print what? You want to print I. When I say I is a variable, what is the value inside the variable? 1, right? So 1 will be displayed in the console. If I am taking this as a console, okay, the value 1 will be displayed. Okay. Now what happens? After executing the body of the for loop, the control will be transferred to the expression 3. Okay, let me write it here. This is expression 1. Okay, this is expression 2. Okay, and this is expression 3. E3, and this is what? This is the body of the for loop, right? After executing, okay, the control will start from expression 1, right? From here to here, it will come inside the body of the for loop only when the conditional check, when the expression 2 is returning true. After executing this, it will go back to expression 3. In the expression 3, what you are doing here, typically I plus plus you are doing. So I means take the value of I, which is 1, then do the increment 1 plus plus, right? 1, take the value 1 and do the increment 1 plus plus. 1 plus plus means it becomes what? In the memory it becomes 2. Now focus here, there is some change in the memory. 1 has become 2, right? After the increment operation, after executing this expression 3, it will go back to expression 2 once again, right? So the flow is like from expression 1 to expression 2, okay? From expression 2 to body of the for loop only if the condition is returning true. Okay, from body of the for loop to expression 3, okay? And again from expression 3 to what? Expression 3 to expression 2, right? Now, now the conditional will be checked. I is lesser than or equal to 5. Now what is the latest value of I? 2, right? Now I is lesser than or equal to 5, so 2 is lesser than or equal to 5, right? The latest value of I is what? 2, right? 2 will be conditionally checked upon the 5 by using lesser than or equal to. It is going to return again true, right? True. Now focus here. When it is returning true, right, it is going to get inside the for loop again. So what is the value that we want to print? Again we want to print I, but this time there is a change in I. Okay, I is what? The latest value of I is what? 2. Isn't it? Okay. From here where the control will go? Again from body of the for loop to expression 3. Again you are using the increment operator I plus plus. I plus plus means what? What is the latest value? 2. Take that value and do the increment. So after taking that value and doing the increment, the 2 becomes what? 3. Right? And again from here to expression 2, right? And now we are comparing what? I is lesser than or equal to 5, right? 3 is lesser than or equal to 5. It is going to return what? True. right? So since it has returned true, okay, this will get inside the body of the for loop, and again you're directly printing the value I itself. What is the latest value in the I? 3 will be displayed on the console, right? So after executing the body, it will jump to the expression 3 once again you are performing the increment operation I plus plus. What is the latest value of I? 3 to the increment, okay? And this becomes what? 3 becomes what? 4. Okay, latest value of I is 4. From here again expression 2, okay, 4 is lesser than or equal to 5. I mean I is lesser than or equal to 5. Okay, 4 is lesser than or equal to 5, which is going to return what? 2 itself. Okay, so now what will happen? Since it is returning 2, it will get inside the body. Now I is getting printed on the console. I is what? Latest value of I is what? 4. Now the last condition. Okay, now from here it is going to go to the expression 3 once again. Now again I plus plus you are doing. Latest value of I is 4 plus plus. Okay, 4 plus plus gets incremented to what? 5. Okay, now again this 5, okay, it's going to back to the expression 2. 5 will be checked upon 5 itself. Okay, so I is lesser than or equal to 5. 5 is lesser than or equal to 5. Okay, which is going to be true once again. Isn't it? True once again. So what is the you have to print the latest value, which is 5 itself. Okay, after this what will happen? Again, okay, it will come from here to here. Again it will go here. Now again you are doing what? I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus means what? 5 plus plus. 5 plus plus means inside the memory the value becomes what? The value becomes 6. Okay, now focus 6. Okay, now the control will be transferred from here to here. Okay, now 6 will be checked upon the value 5. Now what you are doing? Hey, can you check please if 6 is lesser than or equal to 5? Okay, this time 6 is lesser than or equal to. Here the condition is failing, guys. Here the condition is what? Condition is what happening? Here the condition is failing, false. The moment the moment the main thread sees the condition as false, okay, the moment it encounters the false instruction, instead of going inside the body of the for loop, okay, it will be terminated from the for loop. It is going to come out of this for loop, right? Until this condition is satisfied, it is going to be like, it is going to rotate like this. I can say like, unless and until the condition is true, okay, it is going to keep rotating like this. Okay, like this. For all the true conditions, okay, from E2 to body of the for loop, from body of the for loop to E3, E2 body of the for loop. So it keeps rotating for all the true conditions. Okay, the moment it encounters the false condition, okay, the control will be terminated out of the for loop. Okay, it will come out of the for loop. If I ask you a question, just tell me, unmute and speak to me. How many times the expression 1 is getting executed? Can anyone tell me how many times the E1 is getting executed? How many times the control is meeting the E1?
One time.
Only one time. See,
6 times.
No. E1 is this instruction is going to be executed only one time. So as soon as you use the for loop statement, the expression 1 will be executed only one time. Initialization is happening only one time. I equal to 1, you are just initializing it, which is taking care of the increment. Expression 3 is taking care of the increment. So ideally expression 1 is getting executed only once. One time only. Okay, now you tell me, by this example, now you tell me how many times the expression 2 is getting executed. You can tell me.
4 times.
No. How many trues we have? 1 true, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 trues and at last 1 false. 6 times it is getting executed. Do you agree with me? Because
Yes,
false is also a condition, no? It is getting evaluated to be false, which means that condition should also be included. Don't you think so? So 6 times. This is getting expression 2 is getting executed for how many times? 6 times. How many times the body of the for loop is getting executed? How many times this control is meeting the body of the for loop? How many times? 5 times. Why 5 times? For all the true conditions, okay? For all the true conditions, the body of the for loop is going to get executed. Yes or no? When you see the false condition, it is getting terminated out of the body. So that you cannot count that, isn't it? 5 times. Can I say 5 times? Everyone are getting?
Yes, sir.
So body of the for loop is getting executed for the 5 times. Okay, body equal to 5 times. So when the body of the for loop is getting executed for the 5 number of times, then the expression 3 will also get executed for the 5 number of times. Only if the control goes inside the body of the for loop, definitely it has to meet the expression 3. Yes or no? Only if it is coming inside, it will be it has to meet the expression 3. If it is not coming inside the body of the for loop, then definitely it will not meet expression 3, because body of the for loop is directly proportional to the expression 3. Only when it is meeting the body, then the control is going to jump to, definitely it will jump to the expression 3. Right? I can say that the body of the for loop and the expression 3 are going to get executed the equal number of times. So when the body of the for loop is 5 times, the expression 3 is also going to get executed for the 5 times. Making sense? Always remember, expression 1 will get executed only for the one time. Later the manipulation that is happening behind the scenes is because of the expression 3. It has nothing to do with the expression 1. Okay, when you are bringing in the control, okay, control will start executing the for loop from here. That's it. It will meet the first expression 1. It will jump to the expression 2. Then the control will be rotating here and only until and unless the condition becomes false. For all the true conditions, it is going to be circulating like this. At the time of circulations, increment is happening, conditional check is also happening, body of the for loop is getting executed. It is getting repeatedly. The moment it finds false, it is going to come out. Do you think that it is touching the expression 1 once again? Are you getting this, everyone? Yes, no?
No, sir.
Have you got some idea about for loop execution?
Yes, sir.
Now you tell me how many times expression 1 is getting executed?
One time.
How many times expression 2?
5 times.
No, 6 times expression 2. You should include the false condition also. Okay, 5 trues plus 1 false. This false is also getting executed. It has to get evaluated. This thread is going to check for the false condition also. What does it mean? The 5 true condition as well as 1 false condition. But no matter, the false condition is going to throw this control outside, but still it is getting executed. It is getting evaluated. So you are doing 6 evaluation. You can see 6 evaluations. True. Count this. You get 6 times. Right? Okay. And I can also say that, can I conclude that if the expression 2 is getting executed for n number of times, okay, can I conclude that the body of the for loop and the expression 3 is going to get executed for the n minus 1 number of times? Can we have this conclusion?
Yes, sir.
If it is getting executed 6 times, it should be 5. If it is getting executed for 10 times, this should be 9. 1, you just minus 1. Because for the false condition, the loop is going to get terminated. Right? So this is the basic understanding about the for loop. Right? You have expressions 1. You are just understanding the control. Okay. The moment we start doing some problems, you will understand this much better. Okay. So let me give you some problem, like for example, let us take a simple problem. I want you to write a program like now you see, if you want to print numbers from 1 to 100, okay, you are placing the starting value. Okay, so this expression 1 will always ask you to define the starting point. Okay, this expression 2 will always ask you to define a condition. At the same time, the condition should be in such a way that you are setting up a boundary here. So the actual boundary is getting set up here. So you are making this for loop to stop somewhere. That condition you are going to keep here. Example, you want to print numbers from 1 to 100. Okay, I will be keeping like, I starting value of I is 1. No, I is less than or equal to 100. It is okay. Let me take a small number. Let me take 1 to 10. Okay. Now understand this in a different way. Okay, we'll understand this in a different way. Focus here. This is the code. Okay, by looking at this code, I can say that this is expression 1. Just observe. Okay, this is expression 1 and this is expression 2. This is body of the for loop and this is expression 3. So you just focus on expression 1 and 2. Okay, so literally you are setting up a boundary. Don't you think so? You're actually doing what? You're actually setting up a kind of boundary. When I say boundary, right? So you have values starting from 10. It is starting from 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It keeps going like this, right? Keeps going like this. Now expression 1 is making you to set, ensure that you're giving a starting point. In this case, the starting point is 1. So this is where the control is going to start. Okay, and also this expression 2 is allowing you to define the ending point. I is lesser than or equal to 10 means, so this is the condition where the control has to be terminated out of the for loop. So means you are trying to execute until the number 10. Now look at the increment. Okay, I plus plus. Now look at the increment. You are saying I plus plus here. I plus plus means increment the value by 1. The moment I do this, okay, every time, okay, first time the I is going to be 1. Okay, after the conditional check, okay, it is going to go here. I equal to 2, I equal to 3. The increment is happening since you are incrementing it by 1. Okay, it is just like this. Okay, this is how the increment is. Right, so the condition will get terminated here. So all the values from 1 to 10 will be printed. So the control will be what? Control will be hitting all the each and every value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The moment it hits 10, okay, and the condition will fail here. The boundary is going to be what? It is going to exceed the boundary. Right, so this will come out of the for loop. For example, if I do the increment like I equal to I plus 2. If I keep the conditional statement like I equal to I plus 2, I mean not the conditional check, this increment value, instead of I plus plus, if I do I equal to I plus 2, definitely the control will start from the first number. So it is going to increment by 2 steps. Right? So next one is what? Next one is going to be what? 3. Next one will be 5 will be printed. Next one 7 will be printed. Next one 9 will be printed. Next one 11 will be printed. You are skipping one value in between. Right, the first time I is equal to 1. Okay, and you are doing what? I equal to I plus 2. 1 plus 2 equal to what? 3. Again 5, again 7, again 9. Okay, again till 9 it will be printed. So you have a control what values to be printed and what values are not to be printed. You can control that by using this increment operation. Right, let us look into this example. So let me run this code first of all. Okay, 1 to 10, you are able to print numbers from 1 to 10. For example, if I want to set the starting point as 2, okay, and I want to keep the ending point as 10, I am using the lesser than or equal to symbol 10. If I do I equal to I plus 1, what is, now tell me what would be the value in the console when I do I equal to I plus 1. Anyone? First understand where the boundary starts from. It is starting from 2. Understand where it is ending. It is ending at 10. And understand what is the body. You are just printing the value of I itself. To execute this code, what will be the output? Anyone?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
It will print all numbers, sir.
Correct.
Up to 2 to 3.
Correct. It will print all the numbers. Why? Because this I equal to I plus 1 is same as I equal to I plus 1 is same as I plus plus. Sir, how it is same? How it is same if you ask me? Let us trace this, okay? Let's trace this. Let me keep some space. Okay. Control will start from here. Okay. This the value will be initialized I equal to 2. So you have the starting value what? I equal to 2. Right. So after this, what you are doing? Right. Okay, let me do the same way to avoid confusion. Equal to I is assigned to the value 2 is assigned to the variable. So what is the next instruction? The conditional check. Definitely it is going to return to true is less than or equal to 10 is true only. It will go inside, right? It will go inside. You are printing the value of I itself, which is what again 2 will be printed on the console. So when you say I equal to I plus 1, I equal to I plus 1, okay, I equal to what is the latest value of I?
2.
Okay, 2 plus 1. What is the output you are going to get? 3. You know, I becomes 3, right? Yes or no? I becomes 3.
Yes, sir.
Right after this, okay, this expression 3 has got executed, and again expression 2, 3 is lesser than or equal to 10, again true. We're printing the latest value of I itself again, so 3 will be printed in the console. Yes or no? Okay, so what I'm trying to say is I equal to I plus 1 is same like I plus plus, both are same. Are you getting this? Hello? Yes, no?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, if you want, if I ask you to can you print the even numbers from 2 to 10, if I ask you, you just define the starting point 2. From 2 I want to print the even numbers. Okay, I will be using the expression 3. Okay, and I will be manipulating like I equal to I plus 2. The moment I do this, you will get to see the even numbers in the console. Okay, 2 4 6 8 10. We get to see the even numbers console. Okay, you can develop insights in such a way that, okay, let me trace this for you in a better way. Okay, now you see here. You know what is happening now. Look at the boundary. What is the starting point? Starting point is what? Starting point is 2. Is 2. 2 is the starting point, right? And what is ending point? Ending point is what? I is lesser than or equal to 10. Ending point is 10. This is starting point and this is ending. By looking at this, you can observe what could be the end point. You are defining the value 10 here, so I have kept the ending point here, right? And when this condition is becoming true, definitely the control will go inside. I will be printed. After, forget about printing the I. Okay, let us print the I is going to be 2. I2 will be printed. Then the control will be transferred to the expression 3. Expression 3 says every time this I is incremented by the number 2. So now if you do 2 plus 2, it becomes 4, right? So again there will be 4. This 4 will be conditionally checked. Again it is true, and you are going to print the value of 4 itself. Okay, again you are performing the increment I equal to I plus 2. I equal to I plus 2 means 4 plus 2. You get 6. Okay, and again this 6 will be checked upon this expression 2. Okay, and the 6 will be printed. Then again you are doing the increment I equal to I plus 2. Okay, you are getting what? 8. Okay, this 8 will be checked upon this condition. Again the 8 will be printed, right? And at last 10. Okay, 10 will be checked upon this condition. 10 will be printed. At last what? Next you will get 12. When you get the value 12, this conditional statement will be broken and the control will be terminated out of the for. You're doing a step over. So this is taking care of the step over. Right, making sense? You can also imagine like this: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, starting point and the ending point. Okay, and because of this condition in the expression 3, I equal to I plus 2, when you do I equal to I plus 2, okay, it is going to consider, it is going to do a step over. Okay, from starting from 1, I equal to I plus 2. Okay, this is starting from 2, right? Okay, let me remove this. This is going to start from 2. Okay, starting from 2, You're doing I equal to I plus 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these values are getting skipped. Okay, these values are actually getting skipped. This is getting skipped. This is getting skipped. This is getting skipped. Okay, what is making these values to get skipped? This condition is making these values to get skipped. Having said this, if I try to do a small minor change here, when I do I starting from 3, when I say I equal to I plus 3, now can you tell me what would be the answer? Just set the boundary first. Okay, always set the
369.
3, 6.
Fine.
Yeah,
369.
correct. 369. 369. When I start I from 4, okay, when I do I equal to I plus 4, now what will be the answer?
48.
4, 8.
48.
48.
Correct. Java C space 8 or Java space 8. Okay, when I do 5, okay, what would be the answer?
510.
Good.
Right 10.
Java C space 8 or Java space 8. Okay, when I do 6, okay, what would be the answer?
6.
Only 6 would be the answer because the 12 condition will be failed here. Right? So this is also controlling the, what I'm trying to say is not only the true condition, not only this expression too, okay, this every part of the for loop, every expression inside the for loop is having the control on the for loop. Right? Expression 2 is controlling, is acting as a gateway for the controller to get inside the body of the for loop, but it is acting as expression 3 is acting as a step over. You can increment the value by 1, by 2, by 3, by any kind of number. It's up to, it depends upon the requirement actually. Like making sense, it depends upon the requirement. Now my question, if it's possible, try to answer this. I want to print number from 5 to 1. I want to print numbers from 5 to 1. I want to print the numbers in the reverse order. Okay, and having said this, let me take the for loop. Okay, and okay, let me keep the statement like system dot out dot println. Okay, now you tell me what should be the starting point. If you want to print 5 to 1, what should be the starting point? Integer I equal to what?
5.
5. Good.
Right.
Integer I equal to 5. So this should act as a starting point. Okay, and what should be the condition here? Can anyone tell me?
I less than or equal to 5.
I lesser than or equal to 5. Okay, I am just keeping this. Okay, what would be the expression 3 now?
I
I
minus minus.
minus.
I minus minus, right? Let me run this. Okay, so you get the infinite value, it keeps going. Why it is keep going? That is wrong with this expression.
5, 1, I think, sir.
5 is lesser than or equal to 1. No, 5 is greater, I is greater than or equal to 1. Can I say?
Yes, sir.
Can I say this?
Yes, sir.
This condition is going to
Yes, sir.
ensure that it is sticking to the boundary. Don't you think so? It's like, if first it will be 5. The second you are decrementing by 5 by 1. I minus minus. So 4. This 4 will be checked upon this condition. 4 is greater than or equal to 1. Yes, it is. Right? Then it becomes 3. 3 is greater than or equal to 1. Yes, it is. Then it becomes 2. Okay. 2 is greater than or equal to 1. Yes, it is. Then it becomes 1. 1 is greater than or equal to 1. Yes, it is. Then it becomes 0. 0 is greater than or equal to 1. The condition will be failed. Okay. At the failure, it will be terminated out of the body of the for loop. So this is the right condition. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I have another requirement. I want to print the two tables. I want to print the two tables. Okay, when I want to print the two tables, the output should be like in this. I'm expecting the output to be like 2 into 1 equal to 2. Okay, like this, I'm expecting the output. Okay, how I can achieve this? Like this, I'm expecting the output. Till I want to print the two tables from 1 to 10. Okay, so now focus here. If you see what is, just identify, just figure it out. If I ever want to print the two tables, what are the constants here and what are the variables here? Okay, I can say, okay, let me take the plain screen. What are the values that is going to be fixed and what are the values that is going to be changed? Okay. Like this, we will be printing up to 210 times. Okay, 2 3s, 2 3 6, 2 3s, 6. Okay. I can say that. Can I say that this 2 is going to be fixed here? Yes or no? And also the star symbol is going to be fixed. Okay, what are the changes? 1 2 3. Okay, this part is getting incremented by 1 every time. It is getting incremented by 1. So 1 2 3 and it keeps going. And this part is getting what? If this part is 1, it is going to be 2. If this part is 2, it is going to be 4. If this part is 3, this is going to be 6. I can say that I can combine this. I can multiply this part again. I can multiply this part. It's not selecting. 1 minute. I can multiply this part, okay, into 2. Into 2. So that I will be getting the resultant part. Okay, let us achieve this programmatically. You know, I want to start the I from 1. Okay, I is lesser than or equal to 10. Okay, I am using what? I plus plus. I plus plus. Firstly, let me print only the last part. Okay, I want to print only the last part. 2 4 6 last part I want to print. I want to print only the even numbers. How I can achieve this? I will be using I into 2. If I run this piece of code, I will be getting the output what? 2 4 6 8 10 12 14 16 18 20. So we have got this output. But I want to display it in the tabular format. Display it in the form of tables. Okay, what I will be doing? I will be adding an equal to symbol. Okay, I will be taking this in the form of what? String type. I've just added this equal to. This is going to be fixed. Fixed. Okay, let me execute this. Java C space 8 or Java space. We're getting equal to 2, equal to 4, equal to 6, equal to 8, something like that. But I want to add another thing, which is what? 1, 2, 3. I want to define this also. Right? So what I will be doing? I will be using I here. I plus. Right? Let me execute this. Okay, you're getting 1 equal to 2 equal to 4, 3 equal to 6, 4 equal to 8, like that. Okay, the remaining things are constant, so I will be using what? Okay, here I will be using, since we are using the 2 table, I can use 2 here. 2 plus, I can use multiplication symbol here, plus 2 ones 2, 2 twos 4, 2 3 6, 2 4 8. Okay, what did I just do? Okay, let me copy this and paste it here. Okay, my requirement is I want to print the table from 1 to 10. Okay, let me focus here. So I equal to 1, starting from 1, and the boundary is set to be till 10. I from 1 to 10 it will be printed because the expression 3 is just incrementing the value by 1 itself. So it will be printing like, for this I value will be printing like 1 every time, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 for every iteration. Okay, for every iteration. Okay, there will be iteration, no? For all the true conditions there will be an iteration, right? For every iteration it is going to, for all the true conditions, the value of I will be printed. Okay, I am using what? I am using the equal to. I'm just using the equal to symbol in the form of string variable. Okay, it will also get printed repeatedly. So I mean, instead of 1, okay, it will also print along with this equal to. After this, what you're doing, I into 2. Okay, I into 2 means what? First value of I is 1, so 1 into 2 is going to be what? First value of I is equal to 1, 1 into 2 is going to be 2. Okay, again the second value of I is going to be 2, 2 into 2 is going to be 4. Okay, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. You got the variable, you got the even numbers. You just have to define the remaining things. This is the constant. Every time 2 is going to be 2 only. Right? Every time, okay, you are using the star symbol. The star symbol is going to be star only every time. Right? And you are just adding that 2 into star. 2 into, right? 2 into 1 equal to 2. Like that, this 2 into 2 is going to be 4. 2 into 3 is going to be 6. So if I ask you what are the constants here and what are the variables here, you can say that this I is a variable thing and this I into 2 is a variable thing. This is actually defining the logic, and the remaining things are just placing the constants. If I want to print the 3 table, okay, what I can do, I can start the number from 1 to 10 only, but instead of I into 2, I can do I into 3. Right? I can use, instead of 2, I can use 3 here. Okay, then 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. Like that, it keeps going. Are you able to follow? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is how we can print the table. Right? Like this, we will improve this understanding in a better way after solving some data structures problems from tomorrow. We'll solve at least 10 to 12 problems so that you will be very much comfortable in understanding the control of the for loop. Okay, there are nested for loops also, there are while loops also, and there are do while loops also. What is the difference between these loops together? We will understand that in detail. And also, and don't skip any classes from tomorrow. Okay, that's all from my side today. If you have any questions, you can ask me.